let's try this again. All right. People have asking for an easy way to buy my CD. They keep wanting, since 2003, they've been asking, can I buy your CD at Walmart? No, that will never happen. I do have songs on iTunes, or whatever they call it now, and every other store. I sell lots of them normally when I play shows. But in 2020, no shows. 2021, if we're lucky, I'll get to play some shows. In the same way, I pay for my recordings with the money I make off performing at all my shows. Again, no shows. So I've got this problem. I've got new music. I've got what I think is better music. I've got full band music. I've got my drummer and my bass player back with me both. It's better than before, and I want to record. But I need a better way to get the music to you all. And I need a better way to get the money to pay for it than before. So it could be as much as a year before I can come play in your town. And they remind you that my songs are $1 a piece, and then you buy them. So that's a long process. So, solution, I'm going to re-enter patreon.com. I've tried twice explaining this to the public, but only a handful have joined me on this. I thank you, my Patreon supporters, my patrons, but it's a very small number, and it buys me a sandwich every month. But when I explain this one-on-one to people, they usually understand it. That's how I've gotten people to sign up. So I'm trying to talk to the group of people, again, who like our music and want a new record. We are going to record and release a new record by Patreon and pre-sale only. We're releasing songs in February, March, April, and May. Each time should be 3 songs apiece. That'll be 12 songs total. There are 3 paths we can take for you to get that music. First is the easy way. You can message our Facebook page or email scottkleinmusic@gmail.com with your name, your preferred email, and the word pre-sale. We will send you an invoice and charge you $12 at the beginning of February, and then send you 3 MP3s each month like everyone else. Okay? The second way is what we're going to call the better deal. You sign up on Patreon for the $1 tier. You can go higher if you want, but the $1 tier at patreon.com/scottkleinmusic, and you get charged $1 each month until you cancel. And then you get 3 MP3s a month, like the album. Then after that, you get an MP3 every month. And on top of that, you get all the past MP3s that have been loaded. So you get the bonus, as if you'd supported us for the last 3 years on Patreon. You get those. So you get something like at least 20 songs, if not like 40 alternate versions of songs. Then the third way is the cheap as dirt way. You sign up for the $1 tier on patreon.com/scottkleinmusic, and you cancel it in May after getting the last song. And you get all 12 songs on the album for $4, but you feel really bad at yourself for taking advantage of a small indie band. Our goals, our pre-sale goals, if we can get $100 worth of patrons on Patreon, we'll do a solo. I'm going to do a solo album, 12 new songs. If we get $200, we're going to do a guitar and percussion album. $300 or more, we're doing a full band. Me, Corey, Ian, and we're maybe even some guests. I don't know. If you take the easy way and buy the album up front with the pre-sale, we're going to count that as $3 worth of patrons, because we're going to assume that you'll just take care of us through the 4 months, like the cheap way. But so anyway, 100 pre-sales would give us the full band. So if everybody just says we don't want to do the Patreon thing, and 100 people pre-buy the album, then we'll do it that way, full band as well. All right. Let me see, what is the last slide supposed to say? If we don't even hit 100, we will continue to do 1 song per month on Patreon and save our songs for ourselves to be released when you are forced to read our wills. After we do hit our initial goal, assuming we do, listeners will only be able to get new copies by signing up for Patreon. So you can either get the pre-sales or Patreon, but you have to do it before. We won't be selling copies of this album after. Only through Patreon. So, anyway, that is the new announcement. That is the script that those of you on Instagram are watching through this YouTube video. And then I'm making a colorful video with graphics that will go on YouTube and the Facebook and everything else. Thank you. I almost forgot. The end date for our raising money is going to be around February 1st, whatever that deadline is. We might move it gradually, but roughly the end of January. We're trying to raise all this in pre-sales by January.